Hello, gorgeous souls. Welcome to Mind, Body, and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do a pick a card reading, answer the question where am I in my process? What am I working with, and how to work with this process? So, those of you looking for guidance in this direction, that we know we're deep in Scorpio season, and there's also Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, and there's so much energy to process. Scorpio is all about deep transformation, so it's very likely that many of us are really struggling with some deep themes and emotions, and having to do especially with transformation and the evolution of our soul, evolution of consciousness, right? So here I am, pick a card here, pick a pile that resonates with you. Like, just use your intuition. It's not about the looks, it's not about the position. This is pile number 1, this is pile number 2, and this is pile number 3. I'll put this timestamp for each pile. Feel free to move forward to the pile that you chose and see what messages are there for you. So let's start with the pile number 1. Let's see what we have here. So we have Let Love Transform. Beautiful. We have the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, the Five of Stones, Five of Pentacles, the Princess of Cups, which means the Page of Cups, and the Five of Wands, which in this deck is called Strife. All right, so we have 2 fives here. So that shows me that you are indeed in difficulty, pile number 1. It's some type of, like, the fives talk about that moment when we're trying to grow from the 4, which means stability, but not but also feeling a little bit stuck unless there's growth, and the fives grow, but it's a grow that it's actually, it feels very unstable. It feels very scary to make this step. It's that type of I don't know how to call it. It's like, as we try to grow, but we don't really know which direction we go, so we just scan around for in our immediate environment for something to get a hook on in order to grow from that in that direction, and it's pretty difficult. Anyway, we have here let love transform, and we were just talking about transformation and about how this Scorpio season brings all these difficult themes in our lives, like death and taboo subjects. And I think, I see there are 3 cards of Pentacles here, and these Pentacles talk about learning how to cope with your physical reality, but I really think it's related to abundance here. Like, here it's literally called material difficulty, this 5 of stones, right? And I have the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So I think it's good, actually, because you're learning here. That's why it's called transformation, right? And how are we learning to cope with material difficulty? Also, this is 5 of Wands here, which is strife. And we have the 3 of Wands here. 3 of Wands talks about like moving in a new direction and having made the decisions, having having put in the effort already and now kind of waiting to see what manifests out of your work and out of yeah, out of what you've already put out there. Anyway, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because I think it's really important, and I think this is the key. Let love transform. The thing is that when we go in material difficulty, we tend to be very hard on ourselves. I shouldn't have done that. Um, our self-esteem goes really really low, and we feel like we're not worthy, and that has to do a lot with the way society looks at it, because in this society nowadays, these days, not necessarily, it's more like if you're not like professionally fulfilled, and if you're not abundant and successful in a material way, then you have no position in society, or you have a very low position, even in countries that are like more social, where they have a social fair system. The people that can't really take care of themselves and financially um, are seen as a burden, because the rest of the society is taking care of them. So we internalize these perceptions, and we internalize this condition that it's kind of being brought up by our society, and we start thinking of ourselves that we are not worthy, that we're not good enough, that we've failed, that we've done something terribly wrong, and that can go quite deep. And with strife here having the Five of Wands, and I feel like you're putting yourself in the position where you need to show what you're made of, in which you need to compete maybe with other people in order to really show that you are you have qualities, you have something to offer. There is something that you can monetize based on your passion, based on your creativity, and whatever, however way you can materialize that in the type of work that you are intending to do. And the Page of Pentacles talks about like started realizing how to do something. He's a student. He's somebody who's like really learning out there how to do a certain craft, or how to manipulate, physical energy. Whether it's like a craft, like I don't know, learning how to use the software, or learning how to use a tool, or learning how to carve wood, or whatever. So you're learning something there. And with the Queen of Pentacles, I think like you are getting into maturity in the sense that you're learning how to nurture yourself in this process. Let love transform. Has to do with self-love deeply, because it is us who judge ourselves harshly. Society may think whatever they want. The moment I start internalizing, and the moment I'm starting looking outside of myself for confirmation that I'm worth something, that's when it feels like shit. And that's when we are starting questioning ourselves pretty much everything, and we're doubting ourselves, and we're doubting our life direction, purpose, and everything. And we feel isolated. The Five of Pentacles talks about feelings of isolation, and fear of abandonment, and feeling left out in the cold, and feeling like we don't belong. And it definitely feels like that, when we it's hard in this society to talk about financial difficulties, because it sounds like we're complaining, and then people just somehow believe that if we can't make it out there into the market somehow, then yeah, we must do something wrong or whatever. But like the Five of Pentacles also talks stuff about um the fact that there is help out there. Scarcity is an illusion. There is abundance. at the source of everything. It's all about learning how to access that abundance. And that abundance doesn't need to stay necessarily in material. How's it called? Sorry. In material goods, we can still have troubles with our um, how we pay our bills and things like this, and not having enough money to invest in whatever project we want or buy the things that we like. But it's not all about that. Like, the abundance that we're talking about here is the abundance from within. That the moment we truly allow ourselves to collapse whatever image we imported from outside of ourselves, and we truly allow ourselves to penetrate any shields we may have erected, but it's just for ourselves, it's not for the others, those barriers that stay in the way of me loving myself. Where am I judging myself harshly? Where am I maybe creating strife within myself here? The Princess of Cups also talks about like really coming into being gentle, being really truly gentle with yourself. I'm going to read about this. It's a very short read. So not stones. Okay. So, daughter of Cups in the north, Bridget was a goddess of the Celts. When she was made a saint by Christian Ireland, she became patron of livestock and produce, as well as of poetry, prophecy, and divination. Divinatory meanings: calmness and radiance, peacefulness and strength of character. So she became the patron of livestock and produce, as well as of poetry and blah blah blah. So there is abundance there for you, but the way for you to access it is to fully embrace yourself just as you are. And that will allow you to let go of the panic that comes into place when we are in this energy of the Five of Pentacles. Sorry, I keep going to this one because I feel like it's the most important here. It's the most tragic one. It's the scariest one. It's the part that really needs all this energy here is to support this Five of Pentacles. And look deeply into yourself. How do you usually cope with such an with scarcity? Do you feel like nothing will ever change? Do you feel like you can learn something and you can nurture yourself in this process, and you can send out all the energy out there that needs to be sent in this progress, for this to progress? And can you also be calm, cultivate this calmness by being present with this, and allow yourself to compete if necessary? Like this Five of Wands, though, also can feel a little bit like a battle, can feel a little bit like there's no real danger in there. It's simply people competing, and it can be a friendly competition. It can be something that's really helpful in order to ensure the quality of our product, or in order to grow. We grow through healthy competition. Okay, I'm going to read this for you as well. 14. And 14, this is a 5 as well. Fives are growth. It's not the most comfortable part of the story, but it is growth, okay? So I can definitely understand why you needed this reading. So, let love transform. The spring of love arrives to transform the dust into a garden. The call is heard from the heavens to beat the wings of soul to fly. The sea becomes filled with pearls. The dry land receives the water of life. The stone becomes a ruby, and the body becomes all soul. I feel like this literally encompasses everything here. Like, mm, so the dry land. Where am I? Sorry, the dry land receives the water of life. This 5 of Pentacles. The stone becomes a ruby. See, like this person is here like holding something really valuable, and also is the Queen of Pentacles. And the body becomes all soul. Okay, I'll start moving this around, and I'm going to the guidance. Comes with this. Okay. This oracle comes to you as a living spiritual gift. Whether you realize it or not, you have triumphed. You have blossomed, succeeded, cast aside that which is unworthy, and taken up love's way. How much delight there is from all those that walk this way of love, of life, to find another precious companion in their midst. You are welcome into this world where love finds a way. There is nothing impossible for love. It is not bound by the mind. Because of this, all manner of miraculous grace works through it in endless creative variety. The great beloved is the show of creating with such genius as to be breathtaking. Were we able to remain always in the heart, we would be constantly breathless in a fit of appreciation and awe so great, truly, there would not be even a slither of emptiness through which fear could enter. There might be a lot of fear coming with the 5 of Pentacles, and also with the 5 of Wands. Fear of failure. Yeah. What does this mean? It means an avenue for divine fulfillment has been found. You are being given the power for spiritual success. Your heart's yearning shall manifest itself, but you must comply according to the law of love. What does that mean exactly? Do not attach yourself to the form that your resolution and success shall take. Why would we seek to limit love's creative genius thus? No, instead trust that it will be magnificent, perfection, literally the work of great genius. Detach yourself from expectations of timing. The harvest will be at the best time when the ripeness is just right. So utterly juicy and sweet, you shall know with certainty that this has the best way. Not a moment sooner would have been perfect, not a moment later. All right. So you need to surrender and trust. You can just live your life, but perhaps you may want to dance barefoot and wild with me upon the cool sand in midnight under the fullness of the harvest moon. Okay, part number 1. I hope this makes sense to you. Let love transform. Allow yourself to be transformed by this inner space of creativity and gentleness, and cultivate that calm of being with whatever comes as it is. Do not attach yourself too much on the expectations of how this abundance should look like. Allow yourself to be nurtured by your inner love. Find a place in your heart for that. You'll find it for sure as you allowing your defenses to go down. And we become defensive against ourselves. We start erecting shields around our heart when we belittle ourselves, when we are harsh with ourselves. So rest assured, this is part of the process, and you're learning what you need to be learning. All right, I hope that makes sense to you. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you here soon. Press the like, share, and subscribe if this resonates with you, and if you'd like other people to have access to it as well. All right, so pile number 2. Let's see what we have here. Sacred Phoenix Heart. Beautiful. the Hanged Man, Knight of Pentacles, Six of Wands, Son of Wands in the East. That means Knight of Wands. Wow. Four of Stones and the Chariot. All right, so Sacred Phoenix Heart and the Hanged Man here are telling me that you've been through a process that felt quite difficult, but that process helped you really open your heart. Or this is the process that you're going through right now. You're really learning to access your inner wisdom and to understand that you need time to process your emotions. You need time to process what happened to you. You need time to process all this heavy energy. And this Knight of Pentacles is also like, it's a very, from out of all the knights, is the slowest moving energy. But it does talk about expansion and growth. So there is growth there. The Hangman also talks about a long break, a moment of really it's changing perspective. Sorry, I just got cold, so I put a coat on. It's a change of perspective, and it's a change of but that change doesn't happen through a lot of action. This change happens when you really allow yourself a lot of time. The Knight of Pentacles has a very slow growth, he's going for just like with the Chariot here, is focused, is going straight for what's going to work. So he's planning quite seriously, maybe a little bit to a fault. Maybe he's taking a little bit too much planning and not so much risk taking. But I think that this is okay. It's okay for you right now to take your time and take it slow. And this coming, like with this, it is really, really important, first of all, for you yourself to see what you've accomplished and give yourself credit for that. And also notice that the people look up to you. You are maybe through this process that is giving you so much wisdom. That hanged man is like, he gets enlightened by hanging here from a tree, by creating this he's in creating this sacrifice, as in he's sacrificing his time in the world by hanging here in this very uncomfortable position. But he does this by his own will. Like, he has a very serene expression on his face, and he chose to do this. Also, this is his path to enlightenment, and because of the halo on his head, he is getting enlightened. And I think that, well, we're not talking about enlightenment here, but we're talking about awakening, our awakening of the heart here. And rising from your own ashes with the sacred phoenix heart. Like, my heart might have been broken into pieces, and it's rising. There was that saying from Mother Teresa, probably God, something like that: break my heart into pieces. I don't remember exactly the saying, so I'm paraphrasing here. Yeah, break my heart into so many pieces that the whole world fits inside of it. When we have our heart broken and we take our time to really put it together, whether that means through love, through rejection, by rejection from some parents, or like family situation, or romantic love, or anything, that type of like real heartache and pain. But when we start putting it together First of all, when we break our heart like that, where our heart gets broken or whatever, we connect to that energy and we start understanding that energy. And we, as we start off putting ourselves together, we learn to connect with so many other people that had been through that similar heartache. And we cultivate compassion, and we cultivate a different kind of love. And it goes so well with the Hangman, the Knight of Pentacles here, of that slow growth that takes time and a lot of dedication and routine and process. But with the Six of Pentacles, Six of Wands here, I feel like you really, it's starting to put into place. You start like seeing your own progress here, and you've done great. You've done great. You had patience. You've been through so much, and you've learned so much. And people are looking up to you. People are seeing it. And I really, really hope that you're seeing it too, because it's important for you right now. Not to rely on other people's approval or sell, sorry, I'm sometimes really missing the words. Not to rely on other people's, you know what I mean. It's not necessarily approval, but for other people to see your achievements and celebrate you. It's more about, it's good when it happens, but even if it didn't, you are learning to see it within yourself, for yourself, because you know better than anyone else out there what you've been through. Nobody else has walked in your shoes. And you can connect to the moment where the heartbreak happened, and what you can connect into where you're at now, and you'll see how much you grew out of that. The Son of Wands with the Prince of Wands, there's suddenly a much faster growth. Once you see it, once you see, they're like, this is the key point with the Six of Wands, seeing it, observing it, looking at how you've been influencing others as well, maybe. And then with the Prince of Wands, that's a lot of, that's a much faster moving energy. This deck, what's it called? The Knight of Wands is a little bit different, so I'm going to read it for you. It's Krishna. Now, where are you? Okay. Okay, Son of Wands. The blue halo behind Krishna symbolizes the eye of a peacock feather. Krishna's flute music brings the divine mind into physical reality. Divinatory meanings: love of life, interest in the arts, trickster, and attractiveness. So, Krishna's flute music brings the divine mind into physical reality. That's manifestation. That's being a channel for spirit in a creative way. One speak a lot about creativity and about manifestation, about action. What is it that we're actually putting into the world from my inner world, from my inner perception, from my heart, through all the limits of my ego into the world out there in form of action. And I thought from the Pentacles talk about what's actually being manifested. How does it look into the physical reality? We have so many layers. There's the heart, there's the emotional side of us, and our emotional inner landscape, and there's the mind that makes sense out of everything, and there's our actions, and then there's the repercussions of our actions, or what is it that we end up manifesting out there, right? Okay. So there's something definitely moving fast for you after this slow period. And with the power of the earth here, the four of stones, well, there you go. You have, because you've took your time, maybe this is exactly how you're learning with the Nine of Pentacles here, how to tap into the power of earth, how to tap into you understanding the slower moving energy and understanding that what to put your time into and what can be can move fast and manifest immediately, you know. You the four of earth, the four of stones also talks about some type of physical stability. There's so much learned here in this process, and the chariot talks about having all the physical resources that I need in order to move forward on my path and manifest spirit into reality. And having the Prince of Wands here, with having Krishna here, it means through an artistic way, not necessarily artistic, but in a very creative way. So use your creativity, use your understanding of use what you've learned from your heart experience here. I'm going to read the Sacred Phoenix 21. That's number 3. Okay, so this says, this is really beautiful, by the way. I hope you can see it. Right, so under the cover of blood, love veils many rose gardens. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover to the garden of the heart. Reason says the world is limited in 6 directions. There is no way out. Love says there is a way, and I have traveled it many times. Rumi. So this is a poem from Rumi. Right there for you. And let's see what's the guidance. Okay, that's a long read, but I feel like there's a lot of useful information for you here. So love guides us through travails that seem improbable, if not impossible. It does not shy away from any challenge, from any cause. It cannot. It just love's way. Love says to us there is always another way. You are receiving this guidance now. Perhaps you're scratching your head quizzically or are in deepest despair because you appear to have met a dead end. That's how it can feel with these two here, right? A frowning no or this word to bring love alive. So then, do you choose to believe in love or in the death or thoughts of your heart faces? Your heart shall rally. I choose death because that is the portal to new life. And so it is wise, you see, but you must be brave. To be burnt in love, by love, for love, will involve endurance of pain, but it will also place it in context. It is the shorter pain that is not compounded by erroneous thinking. That pain comes and goes quite quickly when you realize that love is simply playfully smacking your wrist and saying, "Not that way, beloved. There are great pitfalls on that path. Come, take this one, where there shall be wine and dancing." So you are guided to accept the closed doors, the death, the pain, and to let it become tinder for your fire. Cry whatever tears need to be cried so your tinder can be dry and ready to create the sparks your heart needs. That sacred phoenix, ready to die into life within you, is hungry for the fire. Let it feast so it can fulfill its potential, its divine destiny, and become born again into a new form, more divinely aligned and alive than ever before. This oracle comes with a message for you. You may feel as though you have been wandering in a desert for many years with no oasis. That's a long time with the hangman here. In sight. You might have been through darkness, through trials, endured confusions and uncertainty as you sought for your truth, sought divine revelation, and sought your purpose to confirm your plans. Seek no more. The answers are now given, or very soon will be, and the life, the passion, the purpose, it will all come to you in clarity. That's the moment of truth, baby. So that's life need to be grasped for. It is bestowed according to grace and destiny. It need not be sought so much as received. The spiritual destiny that calls your soul, even whilst you may feel your bodily ears are deaf to the call, makes your heart leap. It is a thought as though hearing the beloved's voice and stirring an ancient memory of love so powerful moves you, even without you necessarily understanding how or why. So let life come to you. Be prepared to let the old version of your life pass away into the new life now being born. What does this mean? It means letting go of your striving, your opinions, your doubts, your despair, and your fears. Life wants to happen through you, blazing angel. You don't have to do much other than get out of your own way. Love is your nature. Let it flourish, and life shall unfold accordingly. This oracle brings a particular message regarding divine timing, that also significant factor in our dreams coming to life. Your time is fast approaching. Fast. It may even be now. It may seem least likely to you. There may be great darkness or confusion, and yet the unveiling of the new dawn is closest to the deepest darkness of night. Do not turn back or away from your progress. Your very next step shall be upon hallowed ground, rendered golden by the rays of the rising sun. It makes so much sense given that we're in Scorpio season, where it's all about death, transformation, and going into the dark, deepest underground. Then the Sagittarius season is coming, and both these cards are Sagittarius energy. You're on the right path, and keep going. You are exactly where you need to be. I hope that makes sense to you. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you here soon. Hang in there. All right, now let's see pile number 3. Hello. What do we have here? Blood Angel. Okay. Temperance. 10 of Wands. Death. Scorpio. And Sagittarius. The 7 of Stones. 9 of Cups. And the Lovers. Well, all right. It's an intense one. Actually, I want to go straight for this one. And I want to read it to you because... no, I'll read it later. But Blood Angel, this is number 7. And there's not 7 here. There's 2 7s. No, I want to read the poem at least because... Hey. This is from the Rumi Oracle, right? So, Blood Angel. In the midst of the darkness, a moon appeared with its brilliance. Stepping down from the clouds, it glanced at me. Like a falcon that hunts a bird and steals it away, it captured me and flew back to infinite space. As I looked for myself, I could not find me, for my body had become all soul in the tenderness of love. The 9 spheres of heaven dissolved in that moon as the ship of my existence drowned in the sea of love. So the Oracle of Blood Angel comes to you with a particular message. You are being given the gift of more life. You may experience this as a growth, expansion, more energy, more life force or divine electricity circulating through your system. The blood angel understands that in the gift of greater life, which enables the soul to live more of its essence, becoming a more palpable, defined presence upon this earth, there are many unavoidable experiences. One of these is that there will be more sunsets to counter the increase of in your sunrises. This is about balance. Here's your temperance right here. Where was I? When opening up to receive more, one needs to empty out what has been to allow for a new influx of energy. This is not about an exchange of equal measure, for you will receive according to the great generosity of life itself, and thus even more shall be offered in compensation for what you are willing to release. However, release must take place. There's death coming through. Balance is the natural law. The sunset makes way for a time of night that might be darkness of grief, or the stirring of unknown places with that only reveal themselves in clarity the following morning. Being ready to endure the sunset and the night to become ready to receive the sunrise, and with it more life, is your divine task now. Why is this coming to you? You are ready for it. You have outgrown what has been, and it cannot satisfy your soul anymore. A part of you, your mind perhaps, might question whether or not you really want the change inherent in this oracle, divine gift or not. You may prefer that things remain the same, but what are you really wanting in that belief? Happiness? A sense of safety and security? Love? Remember that in any divine gift, no matter whether it seems to come at first through an obvious bestowal of grace, such as a wish coming true or a prayer being answered, or through a hidden grace of a loss or ending in your lives, there is always an offering of greater life within it. The blood angels tells you not to make yourself too small for what is happening in your soul and life now by holding on to what you know, or holding on when it is better to let go. It may not be easy, but you will gain more trust in the divine, in you, in life, and great power and heavenly play can and will flow through your soul into the world. The blood angel invites you to accept the genius of life and allow it to flow through you, circulating your divine light even more abundantly into the world around you. There's a lot more to be read, and I might get back to you a little bit later. I want to address what's happening here though. So, yes. See, you have failure here. The Seven of Stones. In this deck, it's called failure. Even though that's not how I would read it normally. But let's go for that. You may feel that certain aspects in your life had failed. And it may definitely feel like there's a lot to let go of. But it's really, really hard. Death talks about letting go of something that you don't really want to let go of, in a sense. It's difficult, it's scary. We need to enter into a new world, and that's really, really scary. We have the fortune here of the Nine of Cups, the wish fulfillment. And you have the temperance here, which talks about, tempering up and balancing out. This is a balancing act in a sense. And we need to understand that in order to have something new coming into our lives, we need to let go of the old. We need to let go of whatever it is that we've been carrying here too much. These two cards are very they're making the same point in this reading. The Ten of Wands says that you're at the end of this spiritual cycle. You need to let go of these wands. You need to let go of this whatever it is that you've been gathering that's not yours anymore to carry. that's the end of the cycle. That's how you start going into the next one. And with death, is definitely like regeneration and rebirth. It's rebirth. And it may feel like some things that you wanted to happen a certain way didn't happen. And with Seven of Stones, it also talks about taking stock a little bit of like what do I have and what I don't. Um, it may feel a bit challenging to look at the things as through your old way of looking at things, but that's the trick. You're learning to be curious. Temperance is about being more learning to tap into your curiosity and your passion about how am I actually going to work with this. May try out to balance these things out. Might win a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I'm changing a little bit the ingredients of my experience, and I'm getting curious about how is this going to look like. And as you start letting go slowly of the things that you obviously outgrew, that aren't yours anymore to carry, and that it's like you can't identify with those narratives that you can't identify with anymore because they are not reflecting anymore of who you are or where you're at in your process. You learn to connect also deeper to your heart. See, it's like this black angel, and there's an angel here with the fire sign, the triangle on the heart space. And we have the lovers here. The lovers card generally speaks about the union of two different aspects of ourselves. It generally talks about taking decisions not only from a mind space but more from a heart space, like kind of giving your mind a break and not just think logically but deeply connect to your heart and take your decisions from there. And here you have again the heart emphasized with this angel. This is also Sagittarius energy. We're entering Sagittarius season really, really soon. So it's very possible that that's going to bring that revigoration that this card promises. And now let's go a little bit deeper to the guidance of that card. I'm going to continue a little bit. Just needed to put it into context. Okay, so this oracle comes with a particular blessing of well-being and vitality. You have perhaps come tired or are well but seek to engage in new projects or practices that will stretch or challenge you. There's definitely temperance here and the lovers. The blood angel brings you the blessing of whatever energy is required to expand into where life is leading you. What the divine has instilled within your heart shall be financed with life force and energy, so it may be brought to fulfillment. This is the sacred contract of human life. The journey shall be taken by the soul, and there will be challenges, and yet that is what is required for divine fulfillment will always be available. Okay. You have been struggling with your energy levels or with emotional or psychological challenges, more so than usual perhaps. Then you are asked to well, I'm not going to go into that. It's more about like calling into more protective energy. The reason for this is that your energy, or as you're going through growth and opening, can become unstable for a time, more porous or vulnerable than usual. This is nothing to be concerned about, but you will benefit from more spiritual protection during this time. This is, take any particular. Okay, if you need to take any particular action to bring yourself healing and wellness, these rituals will help you become conscious of and ready for that action simply through life experience and internal wisdom when the time is right. So if you need to go through some healing processes, go for it. Go take a Reiki session. Go, I don't know, see a therapist, or um, do whatever it is that you need right now in order to feel like you're you're taking care of yourself and you're nurturing yourself in this time of change and healing. Right. Okay, so it's definitely a quite a very important time for you here. I have three major arcana cards here. You have failure and fortune, and you have this 10 of Wands, which shows really, really the end of a cycle, a spiritual cycle. And this is a 7, which is like the culminating of this spiritual challenge for you in this deep, deep waters that we are navigating right now. You have Scorpio and you have Sagittarius energy right here. So you're tuned in for sure with what the universe is asking of you right now. So part number 3, have no worries. You're on the right path. You're doing what you need to be doing. Pat yourself on the back and stay present with your transformation, and don't put too much expectation of how this should look like. Just know that you are guided and know that you are safe to experience. Do take care of yourself. All right, so I hope this makes sense to you. If it is, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you here soon. Enjoy what's left of the Scorpio season and the coming Sagittarius season.